Travel along, Catholic pilgrims, for 1 year as we read through St. Faustina's diary. Join me, Amy Thomas, each day for a short reading out of the diary which brought us a deeper understanding of Christ's divine mercy. Hello, Catholic pilgrims, and welcome to day 242 of our readings from St. Faustina's diary. I have heard it said that the people of Haiti are some of the most gracious, grateful, humble, joyful, and appreciative people out there. And I've heard that from numerous people who have actually been in Haiti working with the Haitian people. And the thing about Haiti is that it's constantly being torn apart by some natural disaster, whether an earthquake or a hurricane. They're the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, and they are just constantly beset with some kind of disaster. Horrible poverty, corrupt government. It's just like, sometimes I think we should just get everybody off the island of Haiti because it's just not working out there. But it is impressive that the people there, just the regular everyday people, are so grateful, and yet they have so little. And today, Sister Faustina is going to be talking about the ingratitude of her country, Poland. And so we are going to talk about why it is that in certain countries, especially a lot of Christian countries, there seems to be a lot of ingratitude. So that is our topic for today in Notebook 3, numbers 1185 through 1190. July 9th, 1937. This evening, one of the deceased sisters came and asked me for 1 day of fasting and to offer all my spiritual exercises on that day for her. I answered that I would. From early morning on the following day, I offered everything for her intention. During Holy Mass, I had a brief experience of her torment. I experienced such intense hunger for God that I seemed to be dying of the desire to become united with Him. This lasted only a short time, but I understood what the longing of the souls in purgatory was like. Immediately after Holy Mass, I asked Mother Superior's permission to fast, but I did not receive it because of my illness. When I entered the chapel, I heard these words: "If you had fasted, sister, I would not have gotten relief until the evening, but for the sake of your obedience, which prevented you from fasting, I obtained this relief at once." Obedience has great power. After these words, I heard, "May God reward you." I often pray for Poland, but I see that God is very angry with it because of its ingratitude. I exert all the strength of my soul to defend it. I constantly remind God of the promises of His mercy. When I see His anger, I throw myself trustingly into the abyss of His mercy, and I plunge all Poland in it, and then He cannot use His justice. My country, how much you cost me. There is no day in which I do not pray for you. A sentence from St. Vincent de Paul. The Lord always sets His hand to a task when He removes all human means and orders us to do a thing that exceeds our strength. Jesus. From all my wounds, like from streams, mercy flows for souls. But the wound in my heart is the fountain of unfathomable mercy. From this fountain spring all graces for souls. The flames of compassion burn me. I desire greatly to pour them out upon souls. Speak to the whole world about my mercy. So as I mentioned at the beginning, I have heard numerous times that the country of Haiti has some of the most grateful and appreciative and joyful people that others have ever met in their lives. Many times it's missionary workers who go down there to help them after some disaster, and they come back and they just report the most glowing things about the Haitian people. They're so grateful, they're so happy, they hardly have anything. They're constantly being battered by one natural disaster after another, and they just seem to never get ahead at all. And there's great poverty in the country. great illness. They have very little in the way of hospitals. Their schools are very poor. There's not a lot of education. And so they just can't ever seem to get ahead. And yet, people are always reporting that they're just very grateful people. And then you see in other countries around the world, especially first world countries like America, just a high level of ingratitude. Everybody gripes and complains about everything. The things that bother us are so petty, and so first world, as the saying goes on social media. And we're just ungrateful, very ungrateful. And I noticed this especially when I was living in Turkey, how ungrateful the United States is when I was looking on the outside and hearing what Turkish people think about America. And they think it's so wonderful and that we're so lucky and we don't even know how good we have it. And yet they hear us complaining all the time about this or that. And it just made me very embarrassed, honestly. And so Sister Faustina today is talking about the ingratitude of Poland and that God is very angry because of the ingratitude. And she's talking about how she exerts all the strength of her soul to defend it, to keep God's justice at bay, because he really would like to unleash it because it deserves it. And so why is it that countries get so ungrateful? Now, to be sure, there are countries that have so many problems, and it seems like the people who live in those countries should have every reason to be ungrateful or angry or bitter or resentful or whatever. And half the times, those are the people that are the most grateful. And I think it comes down to a couple of things. Number one is comfort. The greater that a country grows in its level of comfort and entertainment and pleasure, the more it takes its mind off of the things that are really important. God, family, country, friends, those types of things. And people tend to start to focus only on their comfort and their pleasure. And when you're only focusing on comfort and pleasure, if that's your number one priority, anytime something slips in the comfort department, you're going to gripe and complain about it because you want to keep this high level of comfort and you don't want it to drop at all. And when it does, the world comes crashing down. And there's a lot of good things to be said about technology. They have improved people's lives so much. However, we don't really have to work for a lot of the things that we need anymore. And we don't have to grow our own food unless we want to. We don't have to go out and milk our own cow unless we want to. We don't have to sew our own clothes. We don't have to go chop wood unless we want to. And those were all things that people had to do. And it was hard work. And people that are not in first world countries tend to still have to do those things. And when you have to work hard for something, you really appreciate it. And then when somebody comes in and offers you a helping hand and alleviates that a little bit for you, you're even more grateful. And so I think what we see here, especially in the United States, is we're so comfortable. We hardly have to do anything for ourselves. That anytime somebody asks a little bit of us or we're a little bit taken out of our comfort zone, we're just ungrateful and we gripe about it all the time. And another thing I think that is a problem is the more and more that we get away from God, the more and more ungrateful we're going to become. Now, I know a lot of the people in Haiti are very Christian and hold fast to their faith, even though it just seems like one bad thing after another happens to them. They still have a great faith in God. And they don't get bitter about it. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody, but for the most part, on a whole, as a general society, they're just a very happy people. And then you look here in the United States, and it doesn't seem that way. I think a big part of that is because we've gotten too big for our britches, and we don't think that we need God. And so we set God off to the side. Yeah, he's nice every now and then. I mean, I like to call myself a Christian, but don't ask me to do anything with my faith. And so when we have taken our eyes off of God we will start to become less appreciative of things. We will gripe more, we will complain more, we'll be less appreciative, which is really sad. It's really sad that we can move into such a flourishing society that can do so much, and yet it causes us to go backward with our attitudes. It's a very interesting thing that happens, and I wish I had more time to kind of flesh it out, but the better a society gets, the higher in intelligence it gets, the more technology it has, the more creature comforts it has, the more it tends to fall into moral decay and ingratitude. I mean, we've seen it all up and down the ages with all the different civilizations that have existed. Those that were at the pinnacle end up falling away, and they just kind of eat themselves alive. It's so interesting, and I find it fascinating in a sad sort of way. So how can we combat this? Well, Matthew Kelly, who is a Catholic writer and speaker, years ago I heard him talk about how to go about praying. And one of the things that he said is start your prayer by thanking God for your life, a new day, everything like that. And then just thank God for 3 things in your life. And try to mix it up a little bit. Don't always just say, thank you, God, for my family. Thank you, God, for my house. Thank you, God, that I have food. He tries to encourage you to think about even smaller things or other things outside of the box so that you can see how blessed you are. And I really enjoy doing that. I think it helps remind me that I have a lot and I'm very blessed, and I should be blessing others with what I have been blessed with. And it helps me see that, when I gripe and complain, there are so many people out there who would just die to have the things that I have. When I thank God for those things and I'm grateful for even the smallest things, it helps me have a more positive attitude, and it helps me put a lot of things in perspective. So that is all for today, Catholic Pilgrims. I'll see you back here for day 243. And until then, live the faith boldly and travel well.